up? It's your boy C Sam's. Now before we get into phase 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I just want to do a quick recap of phase 1. Now, phase 1 we started with the man, Iron Man. I just said that. Then we continued on to Incredible Hulk, my favorite Avenger. Then we got to Iron Man 2, the sequel. Then we started to dabble into Thor. Then we got into Captain America, the first Avenger. And then finally culminating in the Avengers. So, what I want to do real quick, I just want to do a quick recap of these big movies that came out before we dabble into phase 2. In this cinematic universe, the first movie that we're going to look at is Iron Man. But in the chronological order of the universe, the first movie that we're actually going to look at is Captain America, the first Avenger. Now, in this movie, we're looking at World War II, where all this stuff takes place. Now, Johann Schmidt actually gets his hands on the Tesseract. The Tesseract is the plot device for the Avengers. Now, because of what happens in Captain America, we're going to see the string that connects all of these other movies together. Now, I'm not going to review all the movies again because I came out with 6 videos that did that. So, I just want to do a quick recap. Now, in Captain America, we see the plot device, the Tesseract, also known as the Space Zone. We also see the connection to Thor, which is illustrated in the boat that the Tesseract is found. Captain America releases the Tesseract from the Red Skull. Basically, the Red Skull gets sent up to space. The Tesseract falls into the ocean. Howard Stark gets the Tesseract, brings it in. He's one of the founders of S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. has the Tesseract, which at the end of Thor, the first movie, we see the Tesseract in the possession of Nick Fury. Now, once Steve Rogers went into the ice, he was frozen. He went to sleep for 70 years. During this 70-year period, Iron Man, Tony Stark, is born. He becomes Iron Man. He's now a superhero, and pretty much at the end of Iron Man 2, he realizes that he's not the only one involved in this universe. Now, because he's not the only one involved in this universe, we're now going to look at my man, Bruce Banner, the Incredible Hulk. During this time, all the events that led up to Hulk becoming the Hulk was happening during the same time Iron Man was becoming, Tony Stark was becoming Iron Man. Now, Hulk was in New York when he became out of control with Blonsky, when he became the Abomination and they pretty much destroyed Harlem, like he said. Now, that was the first time that the world saw the Hulk in who the Hulk really is, a incredible green monster, unstoppable. Now, all of this stuff is happening during the same time all the stuff with Iron Man 2 was happening. Now, at the end of Iron Man 2, we see Tony Stark come to General Ross and say, hey, we're putting together a team. This was at the end of the Hulk movie. Now, during this time, at the end of Iron Man's movie, we see footage from the Hulk, basically telling us that all of these universes are pretty much connected. Now, moving on to Thor. Now, like I said, Thor plays a very important part as well, because we get a better understanding of where the Tesseract is as far as in the Marvel Universe. Now, we're looking at the cosmic realm. Now, everything that goes on in the cosmic realm is happening the same time as everything that's going on Earth's realm. Now, when Thor is sent from Asgard to Earth, he crashes into Earth. Pretty much all of his story happens as unravels. He fights the Destroyer, and once again the world sees Thor for the very first time in all of his glory. Now, all of this is happening during the time that we are putting together the Avengers. At the end of Iron Man 2, we see Coulson end up in Nevada where he says, hey boss, we found it. And what they found was Mjolnir. I promise you, the next video, I'm gonna have Mjolnir. I promise you. This is gonna be retired. Trust me. Now, we get back to Asgard, where we see Loki at the very end. He falls into an abyss, and at the end of the end credit scenes of Thor, where we see the Tesseract, we also see Loki. Now you see those two connections for the upcoming movie of the Avengers. Now we are now current at the end of Steven Rogers' slumber. We're at the current state where he wakes up and all of these things are coming to light. All of these superheroes are coming out of the woodwork, and now we're getting closer to the big event, which is the Avengers. When he wakes up, 70 years later, Iron Man has been shown, the Hulk has been shown, Thor has been shown. And S.H.I.E.L.D. is no longer a operation that happens undercover. S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming to light. And finally, we get to the Avengers, the big movie, the big blockbuster movie. Pretty much all of these characters are coming to light, all of these characters are coming together in this one particular movie. Now, throughout those movies that we saw the Tesseract, the first Infinity Stone. We see all the characters coming together. We see the tone of the universe coming together. We also see all the storylines that can go off into different parts because of everything that happens in the Avengers. Pay close attention to what happens in the Avengers, because it's going to explain the type of relationships that we see moving forward. Relationships between Tony Stark and Captain America, relationships between Thor and the Hulk, relationships between Agent Romanoff and Barton. So a lot of these things are pretty much explained throughout this movie and in the future movies. What else am I missing? Not much. Phase 1 was pretty much a foundational stepping stone to the bigger movies that are coming out. Now, stay tuned, because we have some big movies coming up in Phase 2. We're going to kick things off with, once again, my man, Iron Man. So, like I said, we're going to kick things off with Iron Man 3, the final addition to the trilogy. I'm going to save all my thoughts for that particular video. We got some things to discuss. We're also going to be looking at Thor 2, The Dark World. We're also going to look at Winter Soldier, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And then finally, a new addition to the entire realm of possibility. We're going to also look at Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Man, what a big push that the Marvel Cinematic Universe did. And after that movie, we're going to get to the final stage of Stage 2, or Phase 2 I should say, which is going to be the big team up once again, Avengers 2, Age of Ultron. Once again, all of these movies were critically acclaimed. Some people didn't like it, some people loved it. I'm one of those people who loved it, but I am critical of certain things in these movies that really didn't make any sense. But when you look at the overall story of the universe, it would all make sense. Now, once again, this was a recap of Phase 1. We're going to get into Phase 2 in the next set of videos. Please stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends what's going on. If your friends are new to the MCU, if they're new to these Marvel movies and they need some type of guidance, some type of simplified explanation without getting too geeked out and nerd out and comic book nerd out, I'm the guy for you. I will be able to explain everything in layman's terms. Once again, thanks again for stopping by, for hanging out. I know it looked like I switched a bunch of shirts. Well, I did. Hey, I love what I do. Anyway, Sam's out.
Doc Bruce Banner, belted by gamma rays, turned into the Hulk.